25 forgotten kitchen tools from Grandma's era that need to return. Join us as we travel back in time to the beloved kitchens of Mama and Grandma, places where every item tells a story. In today's modern world of touchscreen refrigerators and app-controlled ovens, do you ever find yourself longing for classic, rustic, and soulful items? Today, we're going to explore 25 vintage kitchen tools that not only bring back memories, but are also making a strong comeback in modern lifestyles. Don't go anywhere, because we believe you'll find at least one item that captures your heart and makes you want to stick around until the very end. Jell-O Molds. Let's start with a true icon of 1950s to 1960s parties, Jell-O Molds. These molds were once the star of every party table, not just for the sweet desserts they created, but also for their ability to transform simple dishes into works of art. You could find them in all shapes and sizes, from classic rounds to floral designs, fruit shapes, or even intricate patterns for every season and special occasion. They weren't just used for sweet jellies, but also for savory dishes like tomato aspic, a unique and indispensable item at many parties back then. Interestingly, despite being considered weird or eccentric by some, especially Gen Z, Jell-O molds are making a strong comeback. This revival isn't just from those looking to recreate the nostalgic flavors of childhood, but also from people who appreciate their sculptural beauty and the sophistication they bring to food presentation. A perfectly molded jelly with sharp lines and vibrant colors truly showcases real kitchen flair and the meticulousness of the home cook. What's more, the decorative beauty of these molds makes them ideal display pieces. Many people are now discovering their use by hanging them on kitchen walls as unique art pieces, bringing a classic and charming touch to the space. Bread boxes. Next up, we have bread boxes, an item that was once indispensable on every kitchen counter in the past. In the era before refrigerators became as common as they are today, keeping bread fresh was a significant challenge. These bread boxes were specifically designed to solve that problem. They weren't just beautiful decorative pieces, they also had a crucial function, protecting bread from external elements like dry air, excessive humidity, and even insects. Additionally, they helped keep baked goods or homemade bread from being exposed, especially when unexpected guests arrived, maintaining a neat and refined look for the kitchen. In a modern context, where many have forgotten their existence, it's time to bring these bread boxes back. The reason is simple: they are still incredibly useful. Whether you buy bread from a bakery or bake it at home, keeping it fresh without having to store it in the refrigerator, which can dry it out, is a significant benefit. Wooden dough bowls. Let's move on to an item steeped in craftsmanship and tradition: wooden dough bowls. These bowls, with their rustic and warm appearance, were originally designed specifically for proofing dough. They were typically handcrafted from solid blocks of wood, large in size and with a characteristic shape to create the ideal space for kneading and proofing bread dough. Wood is an excellent material for maintaining a stable temperature, helping yeast activate effectively and dough rise evenly, resulting in delicious and perfect loaves of bread. Today, even with advanced kitchen technology and automatic dough mixers, wooden dough bowls remain incredibly popular. However, their primary use has undergone an interesting transformation. They are no longer merely baking tools, but have become stunning decorative centerpieces. With the natural beauty of their wood grain, the warmth they exude, and their rustic, welcoming charm, these bowls perfectly complement a rustic chic style in any space. Labeled tins, canister sets. Next up is a collection that's not only practical, but also incredibly charming. Labeled tins, also known as canister sets. In old kitchens, neatly storing and preserving flour, sugar, coffee, tea, and other dry ingredients was incredibly important. These containers, often made of enamelware, ceramic, or glass, were not only perfectly sized to hold different ingredients, but also clearly labeled flour, sugar, coffee, tea, making it easy for the home cook to find what they needed. They weren't just storage items, but also an integral part of the overall kitchen design, providing a neat and cohesive look. With the strong rise of rustic and retro styles in home decor, these labeled tins are making a powerful comeback. They not only help keep everything organized in your pantry or on your countertop, but also add a charming touch and personality to the space. Punch bowls. If you love hosting parties and want to recreate the cozy, grand atmosphere of gatherings from yesteryear, then a punch bowl is exactly what you need. Once an essential item for parties and social events, these punch bowls came with matching cups, creating a complete and elegant set. The history of punch bowls is rich. The earliest known punch bowls were often made of delftware or silver, signifying the host's wealth and status. By the 1950s to 1960s, as home entertaining became more popular, glass replaced other materials for punch bowls, allowing them to sparkle and be transparent, showcasing the attractive colors of the drinks inside. Today, we're calling on you to pull these punch bowls out of storage and fill them up with all sorts of enticing beverages. They bring a classic charm and a sense of community that no modern cocktail machine can replicate. Punch bowls encourage interaction, inviting everyone to enjoy and share together. You can fill them with creative alcoholic beverages like sangria, tropical fruit cocktails, or classic forgotten punches. Or, if you don't drink alcohol, they're also perfect for serving refreshing non-alcoholic drinks like blended fruit juices, special iced teas, or colorful mocktails. Flour sifters. For those who love to bake and appreciate meticulousness in every step, a flour sifter is an indispensable tool. Once an extremely common item in every kitchen, flour sifters helped remove lumps and make flour more uniform, ensuring perfect quality for baked goods. Initially, rotary flour sifters were very popular, later joined by more convenient squeeze handle types. In the 1940s to 1950s, the idea of convenience was taken to another level when flour sifters were even built directly into kitchen cabinets, demonstrating their importance in baking. Today, even though pre-sifted flour has become more common and convenient, using a manual flour sifter remains a beautiful tradition and is incredibly effective. When you sift flour, you not only remove lumps, but also make the flour more uniform, lighter, and more aerated. This is extremely important for baked goods that require a fluffy texture, such as sponge cakes, light breads, or soft cookies. Well-sifted flour blends more easily with other ingredients, creating a smoother texture and more consistent flavor in the final product. Furthermore, the act of sifting flour by hand also provides a meditative feeling, connecting you to the traditional, slow, and heartfelt process of baking. Colorful and patterned Pyrex dishes. Let's take a look at a true treasure in the kitchens of mothers from yesteryear. Colorful and patterned Pyrex dishes. Pyrex was once an absolute staple in every kitchen, and you've probably seen them in your own mama's or grandma's house. These bowls were beloved not only for their superior durability, but also for their unique beauty. Pyrex stood out with its cheerful floral patterns, playful polka dots, and vibrant striking colors like turquoise or bright yellow. What made Pyrex special was its versatility. They were made from high heat-resistant glass, safe to use from the refrigerator to the oven, and then straight to the table. This made them the perfect choice for preparing, cooking, serving, and storing food. Today, Pyrex is no longer just a mere utility item. It has become collector's gold. Vintage Pyrex sets, with their opaque glass, distinctive patterns, or original vibrant colors, can be worth hundreds of dollars to enthusiastic collectors. They are considered treasured heirlooms, passed down from generation to generation, carrying family memories and stories. Recipe card boxes. In the digital age, Where every recipe can be found online, a small but meaningful item is finding its rightful place once again: recipe card boxes. Once the go-to way to organize handwritten family recipes, these boxes were often made of warm wood or sturdy metal. They were more than just storage. Each card within was a piece of family history, holding culinary secrets passed down through generations. The handwritten script of Mama or Grandma, little stains from cooking, or even your own added notes, all transform these cards into priceless keepsakes. This tradition is well worth preserving. While online recipes are convenient, they lack the personal touch and story that a physical card provides. Recipe card boxes not only help you preserve cherished family recipes, but also encourage you to write down your own new creations so they can be passed on to future generations. They create a small but meaningful ritual in the kitchen, fostering a connection to the past and creativity in the present. What's more, these boxes are wonderful decorative pieces, adding a warm and heartfelt vintage touch to your kitchen space. Butter molds. If you appreciate refinement and love turning the simplest things into works of art, then butter molds will definitely captivate you. Dating back to the 15th century, these molds were created to shape homemade butter into beautiful forms, not just for display but also for more formal serving. They were often carved with intricate patterns like flowers, stars, or animal figures, transforming a simple block of butter into a small sculpture on the dining table. These molds were typically made of wood or metal, bearing the distinctive mark of folk art and the artisan's skill. Currently, the demand for vintage butter molds is strongly increasing, especially as more and more people are choosing to make their own butter at home. This is part of the self-sufficiency trend and an appreciation for handcrafted natural products. When you make your own butter, you have complete control over its quality and flavor. And shaping that block of butter with a vintage mold is not just a final step, but also an artistic experience. A meticulously molded block of butter, whether a blooming rose or an adorable lamb, not only enhances the beauty of a meal, but also demonstrates the care of the cook. It transforms something ordinary into something special, impressing guests and bringing joy to yourself. Vintage dinner sets. Let's talk about a crucial element that adds personality to your dining table: vintage dinner sets. Among them, two of the most prominent names are Fiesta and Cabbageware. Fiesta dinnerware, popular since the 1930s, captivated everyone with its vibrant and diverse color palette. From its initial colors, Fiesta expanded to over 3 dozen shades, allowing you to mix and match freely and create your own unique style. Cabbageware, or cabbage-shaped pottery, was particularly popular in 1960s kitchens. With its unique shape mimicking fresh green cabbage leaves, it brought a rustic, nature-inspired, and charming touch to the dining table. The strong comeback of vintage dinnerware is no coincidence. Kitchen decor trends for 2025 are leaning towards bright and distinctive colors, and these dinnerware sets are the perfect choice to express that. They are especially sought after by young couples looking to create a personal and quirky vibe for their living spaces. Instead of monotonous dinnerware, a Fiesta set with cheerful hues, or Cabbageware with its unique natural charm, will make every meal a unique experience. And now, a fun question for all of you. Among the items we've discussed, which one would you most like to see make a comeback in your own kitchen? Let us know in the comments below. Ceramic cookie jars. Bringing warmth and nostalgia to your kitchen, that's what ceramic cookie jars do. These jars are not only practical for keeping cookies crisp, but also charming decorative items and easy to collect. They often feature unique and whimsical shapes, from adorable animals like dogs and cats to familiar cartoon characters, or even fairy tale figures like Mother Goose jars. Each jar carries a story, a unique personality, turning cookie storage into a delight. The comeback of these ceramic cookie jars creates a cozy and charming feel for the kitchen space. In an increasingly modern and minimalist world, these items, rich in personal touch and nostalgia, become incredibly precious. While they might have minor imperfections like tiny chips or imperfect glaze color due to time and handcrafted production, perfection is not what makes these items special. It is precisely these flaws that serve as proof of their authenticity, history, and the unique character of each jar. Retro refrigerators. Imagine a refrigerator that's not just a cooling appliance, but a work of art, a standout centerpiece in your kitchen. That's exactly what a retro refrigerator is. These refrigerators, with their soft, rounded edges, gleaming chrome accents, and especially their pastel or bright color palettes, were once the icon of the 1950s. They brought an elegant, cheerful, and optimistic beauty from the post-war era. The return of retro refrigerators isn't just a passing trend. They are truly prized statement pieces in modern interior design. They boast a nostalgic vintage look, but are integrated with modern energy-efficient technology. This means you don't have to sacrifice performance for style. You can enjoy the convenience of a high-tech refrigerator while still bringing nostalgic charm and personality to your kitchen. Pot racks and hangers. In a kitchen space, keeping things organized and optimizing space is always a priority, and that's why pot racks and hangers are an excellent solution and are making a strong comeback. With hundreds of years of history, initially made from heavy wrought iron and later wood, these racks were once common items in traditional kitchens. However, over time, they were hidden away in cabinets or simply forgotten. Fortunately, they've been rediscovered and are now an indispensable part of modern kitchen design. Modern kitchen design trends are heavily focused on using statement pieces to create a cozy and lively atmosphere. Pot racks and hangers are a prime example of this. They not only add functionality by freeing up cabinet space and providing easy access to your pots and pans, but also offer a unique visual appeal. Kitchen herb gardens. Nothing compares to the flavor and aroma of fresh herbs in a dish, and that's exactly why kitchen herb gardens are making a strong comeback. The idea of having fresh herbs at your fingertips isn't new, but it's becoming increasingly popular in modern lifestyles. Whether you have a sunny windowsill or a small corner on your kitchen counter, you can absolutely create your own charming little herb garden. This is a simple and satisfying way to bring fresh flavors and the vibrant green of nature into your daily life. Imagine cooking dinner and just reaching out to snip a few fresh basil leaves for your pasta or a bit of mint for a refreshing glass of iced tea. Not only do they provide quality cooking ingredients, but herb gardens also contribute to the cottagecore aesthetic, a trending style that focuses on simplicity, rustic charm, and a connection to nature. These lush green pots not only beautify the space, but also purify the air, bringing a sense of peace and relaxation. Do you have any special memories with one of these vintage items? Or is there one we haven't mentioned that you love? Share your stories in the comments below. Pastel-colored appliances. In the 1950s, as post-war optimism boomed, kitchens also became more vibrant and colorful. And that's when pastel-colored appliances reigned supreme. From pale pink refrigerators to mint green toasters, these appliances added a playful quirkiness to home decor. They were not just tools, but symbols of a new lifestyle, bright and full of hope. Today, the return of pastel-colored appliances is an exciting rebellion against the all-white or stainless steel kitchen trend. Renowned brands like Smeg and KitchenAid are leading this trend, offering appliances with adorable colors and classic designs that still integrate modern technology. A mint green coffee maker or a pale pink stand mixer doesn't just perform its function, it also makes the space warm, inviting, and full of personality. They break the monotony, bringing freshness and a touch of sweet nostalgia. Butter dishes and French butter crocks. To keep butter soft, spreadable, and ready for every meal, nothing is more convenient and stylish than butter dishes and French butter crocks. Traditional butter dishes are already very familiar, helping protect butter from air and keeping it soft at room temperature. But what's truly gained attention recently are French butter crocks, also known as butter bells or keepers. Dating back to the 1800s, these crocks operate on a simple yet ingenious principle. The lid is designed to hold the butter, which is then inverted into a bowl containing cold water below. This layer of cold water creates a natural seal, preventing air from contacting the butter and keeping it fresh for longer without refrigeration. These items are currently trending on everyone's kitchen decor shopping list. Social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram are flooded with praise for them. Why are they so beloved? Because they solve a small but significant problem. Hard butter straight from the fridge is difficult to spread. With a French butter crock, you'll always have soft, spreadable butter, ready to use anytime. Moreover, these dishes and crocks are incredibly beautiful decorative pieces. They come in all sorts of designs, from rustic ceramics to intricate glass, adding a touch of elegance and convenience to your dining table or kitchen counter. CorningWare. In the world of kitchenware, some items have become legendary, and CorningWare is certainly one of them. Once a daily dining staple in most American homes, CorningWare was made from a unique material called pyroceram glass ceramic. What's special about pyroceram is its incredible thermal shock resistance, allowing you to go from freezer to oven to table seamlessly. You could prepare food in advance, store it in the freezer, then directly transfer it to the oven or microwave, and then serve it straight to the table. The blue cornflower pattern from 1958 is the most popular and recognizable design, evoking countless memories. Today, CorningWare is no longer just a common utility item. It has become collector's gold. Some vintage pieces, especially rare or limited edition patterns, can be worth up to $10,000. This demonstrates their enduring appeal and nostalgic value. The original pyroceram line, with its superior features, has even returned in limited quantities to meet the demand of enthusiasts. The comeback of CorningWare isn't just because of its collector's value, but also its durability, practicality, and multi-purpose capabilities. In a world that prioritizes convenience and minimalism, an item that can serve multiple purposes like CorningWare becomes incredibly valuable. Vintage light fixtures. Lighting has the power to transform a space, and vintage light fixtures are key to creating a special ambiance in your kitchen. From opulent Victorian brass lamps, robust wrought iron chandeliers, vibrant stained glass Tiffany lamps, to modern mid-century glass pendants, the variety of vintage lighting is endless. Each fixture carries a story, a distinct architectural style, and a different historical period, showcasing exquisite craftsmanship and rich design. These lights have the remarkable ability to transform the mood of your kitchen. They don't just provide illumination, they are also powerful decorative elements, adding focal points and personality to the space. The comeback of vintage lighting is also a reminder of sustainability. By using these beautiful pieces, we not only reduce waste, but also appreciate the value of high-quality products made to last. Furthermore, vintage light fixtures easily add personality, even to small kitchens or rental spaces where you can't make major changes. Just by changing one light fixture, you can instantly create a significant difference in style and atmosphere. They bring a cozy, unique feel and a touch of nostalgia, making your kitchen not just a place to cook, but an inspiring and stylish living space. Kitchen curtains. In modern kitchens today, curtains might be overlooked, but in our grandparents' homes, kitchen curtains were once a staple, especially cafe curtains or sink skirts. These small curtains weren't just for blocking sun, they also brought a simple, cozy, and private charm to the space. They often featured floral patterns, gingham checks, or soft colors, fitting the homely atmosphere. With the strong resurgence of the cottagecore aesthetic, kitchen curtains are being rediscovered and loved once again. Why? Because they offer many unexpected benefits. Curtains can hide unsightly pipes, unattractive appliances, or even a full trash can, helping keep the kitchen neat and aesthetically pleasing. More importantly, they have the ability to instantly warm up a space and soften the harsh lines of kitchen cabinets, creating a friendly and inviting feel. Imagine a morning where soft sunlight filters through thin curtains with small floral patterns, casting gentle shadows on the kitchen floor. That brings a sense of peace and relaxation. Cast iron pots and pans. If there's one kitchen item that has transcended all trends and proven its lasting value, it's cast iron pots and pans. These pots and pans are not just cooking tools, but treasures passed down from generation to generation, because cast iron only gets better with age and use. With their excellent heat retention and nearly indestructible durability, they are a top choice for frying, sautéing, baking, stewing, and even making bread. Today, cast iron is one of the fastest-growing segments in the cookware industry. Why are they so beloved? One of the biggest reasons is their natural non-stick surface that improves with more use. With the seasoning, a layer of polymerized oil that builds up with each use, cast iron becomes naturally non-stick without the need for chemicals. This is not only good for your health, but also makes cooking and cleaning easier. Furthermore, modern brands are recreating these classic pieces into newer, more functional, spacious, and stackable shapes. This means you can enjoy all the benefits of traditional cast iron with designs that are better suited for modern kitchens. Thank you for watching. To continue with more content, comment yes to let us know you're still following. Retro-styled electric kettles. In a busy world, enjoying a hot cup of tea can be a precious moment of relaxation. And to elevate that experience, nothing beats a retro-styled electric kettle. Kettles have a long history, dating back to the 16th century in China. But the vintage electric version offers the perfect blend of convenience and style. The tea kettle trend has followed as more and more tea lovers prepare their beverages at home. Why are retro electric kettles so popular? Because they not only boil water quickly, but are also beautiful decorative pieces on your kitchen counter. Leading brands like Smeg and KitchenAid are offering kettles with sleek designs, shiny chrome details, and modern features like temperature control and keep warm functions. Imagine a morning where you switch on your lovely pastel-colored kettle, watch the gentle steam rise, and prepare yourself a warm cup of tea. Vintage hand mixers. Before stand mixers became common, vintage hand mixers were indispensable tools for whipping up fluffy fresh cream or soft, airy beaten eggs. Specifically, rotary egg beater types became very popular from the 1870s to 1880s, revolutionizing kitchen work by reducing egg beating time from 1.5 hours to just 5 minutes. This was a monumental leap forward, saving homemakers a great deal of time and effort. Today, vintage hand mixers perfectly embody the vintage movement at a relatively affordable price point. They are not just collectible items, but also remain very useful for many everyday kitchen tasks. You can use them to froth milk for coffee, whisk eggs for an omelet, or mix small quantities of ingredients. Furthermore, modern versions of hand mixers from brands like KitchenAid and Smeg not only come in adorable colors, but are also equipped with advanced functions, combining classic aesthetics with modern performance. Apple peelers. If you're a fan of apple dishes like applesauce, apple pie, or simply enjoy peeled apples, then an apple peeler will be your trusty companion. Invented in the mid-19th century, these machines were once heavy contraptions with various designs, capable of just peeling, just coring, or doing both. They became popular due to the large volumes of apples manually processed each autumn on farms and in households, when apple preservation was an important task. Though they might initially look like medieval torture devices with their blades and mechanical gears, vintage apple peelers are highly efficient and convenient. They help you peel and core apples quickly and easily, especially useful when you need to process a large quantity of apples for your favorite dishes. Hand-cranked ice crushers. In the 1950s, as home cocktail parties became all the rage, there was one indispensable item that helped create perfect drinks: the hand-cranked ice crusher. First patented in 1880, the initial machines were heavy cast-iron beasts, exclusively for the super-rich. But by the late 1930s, they became more accessible, becoming an essential part of every home bar. Today, hand-cranked ice crushers bring joy to drink preparation. Why are they making a comeback? Because they not only produce perfectly crushed ice for classic cocktails like mojitos or margaritas, but also offer a delightful interactive experience. The act of hand-cranking to crush ice is part of the mixology ritual, creating an authentic and nostalgic feeling that modern electric ice crushers simply can't replicate. What's more, they are also attractive collector's items for those who appreciate classic cocktails and vintage bartending culture. Toast racks. And finally, on our list is a small item that brings surprising elegance to breakfast: the toast rack. Invented in the late 1700s and especially popular in Victorian England, these racks were designed to keep slices of toast separate, preventing them from getting soggy and maintaining their perfect crispness. Additionally, they often had a small base to catch crumbs, helping keep the dining table clean and tidy. The comeback of toast racks isn't just about their practicality, but also their ability to make toast elegant. Instead of stacking toast on a plate and letting it get soft, a toast rack keeps each slice airy and crispy until the very last bite. What's more, many toast racks are beautiful. They were often made of silver, ceramic, or intricate metals, with diverse designs, turning them into attractive decorative items on the dining table. Do you remember Grandma's dusty attic or that old cluttered closet? A place where every item told a story and nothing ever seemed to get thrown away. For those of us who grew up in the 50s, 60s, or 70s, Grandma's house was often a treasure trove of keepsakes, each one a nostalgic reminder of a bygone era, a slower, simpler life. But did you know that among those cherished mementos, there might be actual hidden treasures, vintage items worth thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars? You could be sitting on a fortune without even realizing it. In this age of fast fashion and mass production, meticulously handcrafted antique items are becoming more valuable than ever. They don't just hold deep sentimental meaning, they also carry surprising monetary value. Let's find out if your grandma might be sitting on one of these incredible pieces. China sets. Remember those formal china sets Grandma only brought out for special occasions? Maybe it was for Thanksgiving, Christmas, or big family dinners. These aren't just dishes. They're symbols of elegance and precious family gatherings, where the whole family came together. I still recall the feeling of touching those delicate porcelain plates with intricate patterns that Grandma always warned, "Don't break them." Today, these china sets, especially complete sets, or individual pieces from renowned brands like Lenox, Royal Doulton, Wedgwood, or Haviland, can be incredibly valuable. A complete Lenox autumn set, produced in the early 20th century with handcrafted gold accents, can easily fetch several $1,000s on the antique market. Similarly, rare patterns or limited collections from Royal Doulton, featuring classic English portraits or landscapes, are highly sought after by collectors. The most crucial factor is condition. The fewer chips or scratches, and the more original the glaze, the higher the value. Furthermore, sets with clear provenance, such as those used by prestigious families or with a special story, can also increase in value. Vintage electronics. Do you still remember Grandma's old kitchen radio, playing timeless news and songs, or that heavy rotary phone whose ring echoed through the house? In today's digital age, these classic electronic devices might seem obsolete, but for collectors, they are true technological treasures. Items like antique radios, early film cameras, or rotary phones aren't just decorative. They are pieces of technological history, telling the story of how we used to connect, capture moments, and entertain ourselves. For example, a tube radio from the 1930s or 1940s with a polished wooden casing and large knobs, if still in good working order, could sell for several $100s. Collectors who appreciate antiques and the warm sound from these radios are willing to pay a premium for them. Vintage cameras, in particular, can achieve significant value. A Leica camera from the 1950s or an antique Hasselblad could be worth thousands of dollars, especially if it comes with its original lens and is in good condition. Even brass cameras and lenses from the late 19th or early 20th century, with their classic beauty and ability to produce unique photos, can reach $3,000 or more. Rotary phones, symbols of a slower but more authentic era of communication, also hold surprising collectible value. A rare colored desk phone or one from a famous manufacturer can attract those looking to recreate their nostalgic space. Most importantly, the working condition of the device. A radio that picks up signals, a camera that takes photos, or a phone that still rings will be much more valuable. Perfume bottles. Grandma's dressing table, sparkling with glass bottles of all shapes, holding the captivating sense of a bygone era. Maybe it was the perfume she wore to parties, or the light fragrance she used daily. These perfume bottles aren't just containers. They are miniature works of art, symbols of luxury, beauty, and memories. In the collecting world, rare and limited edition perfume bottles from renowned brands are extremely sought after. Some antique perfume bottles, especially from famous fashion houses like Guerlain, Baccarat, Lalique, or Chanel, can sell for hundreds, even thousands of dollars, even if empty. This is due to their unique design, exquisite glasswork, and brand history. For example, Lalique perfume bottles, designed by the legendary glass artist René Lalique, often feature complex sculptural forms and intricate engravings. A vintage Lalique bottle can reach thousands of dollars. Similarly, early Guerlain perfume bottles, with their distinct designs for each fragrance, are also highly coveted by collectors. Especially vintage vanity sets, including perfume bottles, powder boxes, mirrors, and other accessories, all designed to match and often made of silver or silver-plated material, can be worth thousands of dollars. These sets were often precious gifts and carefully preserved. Do you have any of Grandma's old perfume bottles that you still keep for their scent or special design? Tell us about it in the comments below. Do you remember that old velvet armchair in Grandma's living room, or the dark oak china cabinet she always took such good care of? These pieces of furniture aren't just places to sit or store things. They are works of art, embodying the soul of the artisans who poured their hearts into creating them. Classic furniture, especially pieces made from high-quality solid wood, always retains its value and timeless appeal. In fact, in recent years, the mid-century modern style, items from the 1950s and 1960s, has become incredibly hot on the vintage market, with values that can skyrocket to thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars for unique pieces. For example, an Eames lounge chair produced in the mid-20th century can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. Similarly, coffee tables by Isamu Noguchi or bookshelves by Finn Jewell, despite being decades old, are still coveted by collectors and design enthusiasts. To determine the value of a furniture piece, look for a maker's mark. It could be a small stamp, an engraving, or a label on the underside or back of the item. These marks are proof that the item was created by a renowned craftsman or workshop, such as Thomas Chippendale, Duncan Fife, or Gustav Stickley. Additionally, check the joints. Dovetail joints, where pieces of wood are skillfully cut to interlock without screws, are a clear sign of enduring craftsmanship and durability. Rare books and old cookbooks. Grandma's small library, where old books stacked up with the distinctive scent of yellowed paper and ink. Perhaps classic novels or time-faded cookbooks containing family recipes. Don't dismiss them hastily, because among them, hidden intellectual and material treasures might lie. Rare books, especially first editions of classic works, can fetch enormous sums. For example, a signed first edition of F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, or an early copy of Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird, could be worth tens, even hundreds of thousands of dollars at rare book auctions. Rarity, condition, such as intact original cover, no tears, and handwritten notes by the author or a celebrity can significantly increase value. Even more surprisingly, old cookbooks are also valuable collectibles. Community cookbooks from churches, women's clubs, or local organizations often contain unique recipes, personal stories, and reflect the culinary customs of a bygone era. These books, especially out-of-print editions or those signed by famous chefs, are hotly pursued by culinary collectors and historians. A first edition Julia Child cookbook can be highly valuable, not just for its content, but also for its cultural significance. Do you remember any dishes from Grandma's cookbooks that you wish you could recreate? Share your recipes or memories in the comments below. Vinyl records. Albums from iconic artists like the Beatles, David Bowie, Aretha Franklin, Elvis Presley, or Led Zeppelin, especially first pressings or rare versions, can be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars. For example, a first pressing of the Beatles' Yesterday and Today album with the Butcher cover, a band cover, can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. Similarly, rare jazz albums from the 1950s to 1960s by artists like John Coltrane or Miles Davis are also targets for collectors. Pay attention to the condition of the vinyl. Are there deep scratches, warps, or significant pops when played? The condition of the album cover and inner sleeve is also very important, as they are also part of the collectible value. A beautiful album cover without tears or discoloration will significantly increase its value. Do you have any of your grandparents' vinyl albums that you still listen to, or any songs on vinyl that always bring back childhood memories? That grand grandfather clock in Grandma's hallway, ticking steadily like the rhythm of time, or the cherished pocket watch your grandpa always carried. These timepieces aren't just for telling time. They are symbols of ingenuity, precision, and sometimes a whole historical narrative. In the antique world, clocks and watches can yield astonishing value, especially vintage wristwatches from legendary brands like Rolex, Patek Philippe, Audemars Piguet, or Vacheron Constantin can be worth thousands to hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars, depending on rarity, condition, and provenance. For instance, an early 1950s Rolex Submariner, if well preserved and with complete documentation, could be a highly desirable investment. But it's not just wristwatches that hold value. Large grandfather clocks, especially intricately hand-carved ones from Europe with complex movements and precious wood, can also be worth thousands of dollars. Pocket watches, once symbols of luxury and status in the 19th and early 20th centuries, are also highly sought after by collectors. These watches, particularly models from Elgin, Waltham, or Hamilton, with gold or silver cases and meticulous engravings, can achieve high values. Handbags. Grandma's wardrobe, where old handbags were carefully stored, perhaps a small leather purse or an intricately embroidered clutch. For many, these are just outdated accessories, but in the world of fashion and collecting, these vintage handbags can be real treasures. They aren't just items to carry personal belongings. They are symbols of style, of an era, and sometimes of personal stories your grandma carried with her. Vintage handbags from her collection can be both stylish again and surprisingly valuable. Especially bags from heritage brands like Coach, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Hermes, or Chanel from their early decades are extremely sought after in the pre-owned and luxury markets. A classic Coach Dinky or Bonnie Cashin bag can sell for several $100s, while a vintage Gucci Jackie can reach thousands of dollars. Even unbranded designs, if they feature good leather, exquisite stitching, and unique styling, can come back into vogue and hold value. For example, beaded, hand-embroidered, or metal-framed handbags from the 1920s to 1950s can also be highly prized. Grandma's kitchen, always warm with the smell of baking and simmering soup. Inside, there were shiny black cast-iron pans, colorful glass bowls, or worn wooden cutting boards. These kitchen tools weren't just everyday items. They were instruments of love, helping Grandma create countless delicious meals and warm family memories. Today, these classic kitchenware pieces are becoming sought after by collectors and retro enthusiasts. Especially cast-iron cookware, like pans and pots from brands such as Griswold and Wagner, are extremely popular. These cast-iron pieces, produced from the late 19th to mid-20th centuries, are renowned for their superior durability, excellent heat retention, and natural non-stick surface once properly seasoned. A vintage Griswold or Wagner cast-iron pan in good condition can sell for hundreds of dollars, even over $1,000 for rare or large models. Beyond cast iron, colorful Pyrex mixing bowls, particularly from the 1950s to 1960s with patterns like gooseberry, butterprint, or atomic starburst, are highly sought after. A complete and well-preserved Pyrex bowl set can reach several $100s. Other items like baking sets from the 1940s to 1950s can also hold surprising value. Depression glass. Glass set, or individual pieces with rare and unique patterns, can reach impressive values, from tens to hundreds of dollars for a single piece, and up to thousands of dollars for a complete set or an extremely rare item. Popular and sought-after patterns include American Sweetheart, Royal Lace, Mayfair, also known as Open Rose, and Cameo. Pay attention to the condition of the glass. Are there cracks, chips, or significant scratches? A piece of glass in good condition with prominent and clear patterns will be much more valuable. Small air bubbles or rough seams are normal characteristics of this type of glass and usually do not reduce its value. Trunks and luggage. Do you still remember that big wooden trunk in Grandma's attic, filled with old keepsakes, or those worn leather suitcases she carried on her youthful travels? These items aren't just storage, they are time capsules, holding countless stories of adventures, family memories, and sleeping secrets. In the antique world, trunks and luggage are becoming highly sought-after items, especially classic trunks and suitcases from luxury brands. An old trunk in good condition with shiny brass latches and well-preserved wood can yield surprising value. Trunks from the late 19th or early 20th century, often used for long train or sea voyages, can be repurposed as coffee tables, console tables, or simply unique decorative pieces in a home. Their value can range from several hundred to several $1,000s, depending on size, condition, and origin. However, suitcases from luxury brands like Louis Vuitton or Goyard are the true stars. A vintage Louis Vuitton suitcase produced in the early 20th century with its distinctive monogram pattern and leather and brass details can be worth thousands to tens of thousands of dollars, or even more for rare or custom-made models. This is due to their exquisite craftsmanship, high-quality materials, and the luxurious history of these brands. Tiffany lamps and vintage lights. That lamp with the vibrant stained glass shade, or the sparkling crystal chandelier hanging in Grandma's living room? These lighting fixtures don't just provide illumination. They are true works of art, embodying timeless beauty and the artist's skill. Among them, Tiffany lamps are legendary. Designed and produced by Louis Comfort Tiffany in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, these lamps are famous for their shades made from hundreds, even thousands, of pieces of colored glass soldered together, creating stunning natural motifs like flowers, butterflies, or landscapes. An original Tiffany Studios lamp, especially rare or large models, can reach 6 figures, meaning hundreds of thousands of dollars, at major auctions. This is due to their exquisite craftsmanship, precious materials, and their iconic status in Art Nouveau history. Beyond Tiffany lamps, other vintage lights also hold astonishing value. Classic chandeliers, especially Baccarat or Murano crystal chandeliers found in old mansions, former theaters, or demolished renovated homes, can sell for thousands of dollars. Similarly, table lamps with bronze or handcrafted ceramic bases, or floor lamps with unique designs from the 1920s to 1960s are also sought after by collectors. Vintage instruments. Do you remember the corner of Grandma's living room with that old piano draped in an embroidered cloth, or the violin carefully placed in its case? These musical instruments aren't just decorative. They are sources of inspiration, having played countless melodies, witnessed countless family performances, and preserved so many musical memories. If your family had a musician, or simply if your grandma loved music, then these old instruments could be a surprising treasure. In the antique world, vintage musical instruments, especially those still in good condition and playable, can yield significant value. Pianos, particularly from prestigious brands like Steinway and Sons, Baldwin, or Yamaha from the early to mid-20th century, can be worth tens of thousands of dollars, or even more for rare or handcrafted models. Similarly, violins are also very valuable items. A classic violin from renowned makers like Stradivarius, Guarneri, or Amati, though very rare, can be worth millions of dollars. Even more mass-produced violins from the 19th or early 20th century can reach several $1,000s if well preserved and with a good sound. Porcelain dolls. The value of a porcelain doll can range from several hundred to thousands of dollars, or even higher for rare ones, or from renowned manufacturers. Famous brands include Armand Marseille, Simon & Halbig, Kemmer & Reinhardt, and Jumeau. What significantly increases value is if the doll still retains its original clothing. An exquisitely handcrafted outfit, matching the fashion style of the era the doll was produced, will greatly boost its value. Additionally, the doll's condition is very important. Are there cracks or chips on the porcelain head? Are the limbs damaged? And is the color still intact? Dolls with sleep eyes, eyes that close when the doll lies down, or other unique mechanical features are also highly prized. Furthermore, the doll's history, such as if it belonged to a famous family or has a special story, can also increase its collectible value. That large mirror in Grandma's living room, where she'd often fix her hair or adjust her outfit before heading out, or the small handheld mirror she always kept in her purse. These mirrors aren't just reflective surfaces. They're witnesses of time, having seen countless smiles, tears, and life's moments. In the antique world, classic and vintage mirrors can sell for high prices, especially those with intricately crafted frames or unique histories. A mirror is not just a decorative item, it's a work of art, and old mirrors carry the beauty of nostalgia and elegance. For example, an Art Nouveau mirror with a softly sculpted floral frame, or a Victorian mirror with an elaborately carved wooden frame can be worth hundreds to thousands of dollars depending on size, frame material, and detail. Particularly, mirrors with clear provenance or designed by famous artisans can fetch even higher values. Mirrors with frames made of sterling silver, gilded brass, or even mother-of-pearl inlay are all sought after by collectors. A crucial point to note when evaluating an antique mirror is the condition of the glass. While natural wear on the frame can be acceptable and even enhance its antique charm, large scratches, cracks, or obvious flaws on the glass surface can significantly reduce the mirror's value. However, if the glass has a bit of natural aging, such as silvering spots or slight haziness, that can add to the authenticity and appeal of an antique. Quilts, that colorful patchwork quilt Grandma often draped over the sofa, or the thick quilt she hand-stitched for you when you were little. These quilts don't just provide warmth. They are handcrafted works of art, each fabric piece a story, each stitch a testament to Grandma's patience and love. In the antique world, handcrafted quilts, especially those with intricate patterns or carrying family history, are considered invaluable legacies, far exceeding the value of an ordinary blanket. Some antique quilts, particularly those made before the 1950s, can be considered folk art and carry significant value. The value of a quilt can range from several hundred to several $1,000s, depending on the complexity of the pattern, fabric quality, preservation condition, and the quilt's history. For example, quilts from the American Civil War era, or those made by African American communities with unique patterns, can be particularly high in value. Popular and highly valued patterns include log cabin, sampler, Star of Bethlehem, and crazy quilt. Recently, classic and vintage art styles like outsider art, art by untrained individuals with unique perspectives, and folk art, traditional art, often reflecting local culture, are becoming increasingly popular and sought after. These works are often original, authentic, and tell unique stories about everyday life. For example, a simple hand-painted piece by an unknown artist with a distinctive style, or a finely carved small wooden sculpture, can be highly valued. Additionally, art pottery from the late 19th and early 20th centuries, from studios like Rookwood, Gruby, or Weller, is also highly desirable. These ceramic works often feature unique glazes, sculptural forms, and are iconic of the arts and crafts movement. Vintage buttons and sewing kits. Do you remember Grandma's old tin box filled with colorful spools of thread, thimbles, and especially countless buttons of all shapes and sizes? For her, these were just everyday sewing supplies. But for collectors and craft enthusiasts, that old sewing box could be a true treasure. Vintage buttons, especially those made from unique materials or with exquisite designs, are highly popular and can yield surprising value. The value of a single button can range from a few dollars to hundreds of dollars for extremely rare or unique ones. The most sought-after vintage buttons include those made from bakelite, an early plastic, popular in the 1920s to 1940s, known for its vibrant colors and warm feel, or those hand-carved from bone, wood, metal, or glass. For instance, a rare bakelite button with a unique shape or pattern, or an intricately carved ivory button, if antique and legal, can be highly valuable. Buttons with illustrations, old advertising logos, or complex details are also favored by collectors. Beyond buttons, old tin sewing boxes containing complete sewing tools like needles, small embroidery scissors, thimbles, and vintage spools of thread also have their own collectible value. A complete and well-preserved kit, especially if its tin features beautiful decoration or an old sewing brand logo, can sell for tens to hundreds of dollars. Militaria, those old items that your grandpa or another relative brought back from wartime? Perhaps an old helmet, a faded badge, or a tattered flag. These items aren't just mementos. They are historical witnesses, carrying stories of bravery, sacrifice, and tragic national moments. In the antique world, militaria can provide a significant source of income, as there are always passionate collectors searching for rare and unique items. The value of military items varies greatly, depending on their age, rarity, condition, and historical significance. For example, an intact old bayonet from World War II with a clear serial number can fetch hundreds of dollars. Helmets, uniforms, medals, decorations, or even letters and diaries from soldiers of major wars like World War I, World War II, or the Vietnam War are all highly valued. A complete uniform of a high-ranking officer or a rare medal awarded for a heroic act can reach thousands of dollars. Let's appreciate the past while enjoying the present. If you enjoyed this journey back to kitchens full of memories, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with your friends and family. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on our next nostalgic adventure.